about to go nuclear on American intellectual property, and they are not messing around. So intellectual property rights on American design products is really key to allowing America to sell premium products globally. So think iPhone, think Dyson vacuum cleaners, think Microsoft Word. So until recently, China has actually put in restrictions on copying of American goods, mostly to meet international trade regulations. But a couple of days ago at the China State Council meeting, they basically said, we don't care anymore. If you put in tariffs on us, we are just going to open the doors for IP infringement. We're going to copy everything that American business.
Hold on. I have to stop you right here. And for those of you who don't know, I am Dave, 10-year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything from patents, trademarks, copyrights, as well as trade secrets. And this gentleman, shout out to, I'm not sure if it's inoff.co or Real EST Zaddy. That's interesting. But he's talking about how China has previously kind of put in regulations so that they kind of abide by trade kind of laws and world trade laws and world trade regulations. But due to the tariffs, they all of a sudden said, hey, the heck with that. We're going to allow IP infringement. Now, for anybody who actually manufactures things in China, sell things in China, or deals with China, man, China has been doing this all along. Now, I would imagine that there are trade kind of policies and regulations in place with China in terms of kind of what they can and can't do from an IP standpoint. But for anybody who knows, and I've kind of interviewed tons of people on my channel, so definitely go like this for the YouTube algorithm, but also subscribe to the channel, Everything Intellectual Property. China has committed nonstop IP infringement, IP theft, time and time again. So I can assure you that tariffs had nothing to do with all of a sudden China saying we're going to commit IP infringement. China has been doing that for years. Hey, just ask Kevin O'Leary. He talks about these things extensively, kind of due to his ongoing business relationship with China and the different companies that he has that kind of deals with China manufacturing and so forth and so on. But I can assure you, China is not all of a sudden committing IP theft and IP infringement as it relates to tariffs. They've been doing that from the beginning. Hopefully, due to this potential deal between the U.S. and China, they will stop committing IP theft and IP infringement of American products, of American intellectual property. So let's continue on to see what this guy has to say. Let's go.
This is create, and we're just going to sell it at like 5 cents onto the dollar. Essentially saying that.
Look, they do, and I'm sorry to have to. This dude, I can tell you for sure, he hasn't dealt with China before. For people who, and there's people been on my, who I've interviewed who've said, look, at the same shop, a manufacturing facility in China that's making your product, hey, on the opposite end, they're making a knockoff that's for a fraction of the price. Again, this has nothing to do with tariffs. This has nothing to do with all of a sudden China saying they want to play hardball as a result of the tariffs. They've been doing everything that this guy's talking about. They're doing years, decades in the making. This is not anything new. They've been committing IP theft and infringement. They've been selling things for a fraction of the cost. Just ask everybody who's on Amazon, who's selling product here in America that complains about the Chinese copycats and the Chinese knockoffs that are selling them for a fraction of the cost. Again, China's been doing this. So let's continue to see what he has to say.
We're going to undercut all of your products. They're going to become worthless, and the rest of the world is going to benefit. And because
look, and I don't. Hopefully this tariff deal gets worked out, but I think the U.S. has an upper hand in this for a number of reasons, and we'll see how it get works out. And to the extent that you guys disagree with what I'm gonna say, please leave your comment in the comment section and let me know why. Again, China, they manufacture things and then they send them off to the world, whether it's Europe, whether it's the US. They're not necessarily kind of buying these things in China. So really, to the extent that, at least in my opinion, if the US really wanted to kind of crack down on China, they will just kind of stop allowing these kind of Chinese products or these products from China in the U.S. And that, again, obviously that'll throw a kind of monkey wrench in things as it relates to, okay, where we're going to manufacture these things. But China is not the only country that manufactures things for the low. Just act Philippines and those countries in Asia. So it's other countries that you can kind of get manufacturing done that a lot of people get manufacturing done for a relatively or for cheap compared to what you would spend here in the U.S. But again, the U.S. can kind of deal. They also ultimately have the cards, the final cards, and kind of can manipulate this to the extent that they want to, just by kind of putting regulations on China and as they're doing, and putting regulations on what comes into this country from China. So again, and I see what this guy's talking about, but I have to respectfully disagree, just because number one, China's been doing this all along, and he's saying it as if kind of the U.S. can't do anything about it, which I do believe that they can do something about it. And to be honest with you, I think kind of, this administration is probably going to do something about it. So let's kind of finish up what this guy has to say, and we get you guys up out of here. Let's go. This just came out 3 days ago, so this is kind of fresh off the press here.
China has the manufacturing capacity to do this. They can build American products, American design products at scale. They don't have to circumvent the quality anymore, like they used to have to, right? With a patent, you have to go around and make slight alterations so the product isn't as good. But they're now saying, we're just going to copy it one-to-one, and our products are going to be just as good as yours. You design them, we don't care.
But again, that's what I'm saying. This is what this guy is not understanding. Yeah, China can make all the product that it wants to, but it has to be able to ship it somewhere, because clearly they're not keeping these products or buying these products in China. So they're manufacturing them. Yes, they have the scale, the manufacturing scale and the capabilities to manufacture all these products. But to the extent that the U.S. really wants to do something about it, they can kind of really seriously curtail or cut off what is coming here in the U.S. from China if they really wanted to. So just because, again, China has manufacturing capabilities, the U.S. they have to ship them somewhere, because they're not buying that stuff in China. They're shipping them to the U.S. and to Europe and other countries. So to the extent that the U.S. wanted to crack down on China, they could kind of seriously, like I said, curtail or cut off what's coming in from China. And again, regardless of what people think, the U.S. still is the biggest market in the world, and that will hurt China tremendously if the U.S. is like we're going to stop allowing things that are manufactured in China from coming in the U.S. Now, I think that won't happen, and I think something works out long term. But number one is other countries, that companies here in the U.S. can manufacture their product such that it is at a lower cost. And like I said, China ultimately has to send this stuff somewhere that they're manufacturing, and to the extent that the U.S. can kind of hurt them as far as at least that stuff coming in the U.S., then China will be hurt ultimately. Like I said, that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section if you guys disagree with me. But those are just my thoughts as a 10-year intellectual property, and kind of understanding that the U.S. has just kind of been dealing with this. And I think Capitol Hill and really the federal government can do something about this if they really wanted to. Let's go.
And we're just going to make the money off it because you're hurting us. China.
See, like I said, I disagree with them. Clearly, this guy thinks that all of a sudden these tariffs are making China commit IP theft and IP infringement. This stuff has been happening long before these tariffs or discussion about tariffs has been happening. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit a like button for the YouTube algorithm if you did. Hit the subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. And to the extent that you guys disagree with me, I would love to hear your guys' disagreement in the comment section. And to the extent that you fell victim, whether it's on Amazon, eBay, one of these e-commerce platforms, to knockoffs from China, let me know in the comment section so we can let this guy know that, hey, they've been doing this way before this tariff discussion started to commence. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you on the next one. I have one more from Mr. O'Leary that I want to talk about. Let's go.